What's up, everybody? Come on in. Hey, we're live. We're doing this. We're doing army list reviews. We're chilling. We're hanging out. It's Monday. I had off for Labor Day weekend, so we're a little bit early. I got some dinner plans, but I hope everybody had a great weekend. If you had an extra long weekend, then I hope it was even better, But I hope everybody's chilling. I hope everybody's week has started out well. Welcome to the Tyranid Army List Review Show. We do here every Monday. It's going to be Tuesdays soon. I will say we're going to be moving to Tuesday soon. Just my work schedule is shifting a little bit, so I have to stay later at work on Mondays. But I think next week it's going to be Tuesday. Anyways, where I review army list submitted by the community. Is this resolution set up weird? Probably. No, it looks fine. Okay. So if you are interested in submitting a list to be reviewed, head on over to Wednesday Night Warhammer. Go in the posts section and you can copy and paste your list into the post that is up there that says this is where you should put your Tyranid army list. And then I will look over it in due time. I think I've got 8 lists today. That's kind of the standard number that I do every single week. We also have a super chat goal of 5 additional lists to be reviewed if we get that super chat goal. No worries if we do not. It will be fine either way. In addition, before we get fully going and cruising and stuff, I just do want to mention that some Tyranid stuff is moving to a new channel. It's called Hive Mind Hobbies. If you haven't checked it out yet, take a look. Some good stuff. I've been on a rampage posting new videos. I got 5 videos up. And after this stream, I will be picking one list that we reviewed, and I'm going to simulate a deployment in TTS of that exact list, and then also go through what I would do on first turn. I think this time around, I might be going second or something. Oh, nice, Nix. Awesome. So, yeah, if you haven't checked out Hive Mind Hobbies, go ahead and check out Hive Mind Hobbies, Do a subscribe and look at all the Tyranid content I put out. Alex G, yes, we're early. I'm sorry. Happy to see you, though. All right. Our first list. Josh Cole, 4607. I don't know what you're talking about, Jacob. So is this a challenge? Because look what I've highlighted here. How am I supposed to avoid that? Am I supposed to lie about this man's list? Josh Cole says, "Hey Jordan, thanks so much for doing these. Meant to add them. Okay, I got you. Would really appreciate your eyes on my 1,000 point invasion fleet list. That will likely be playing against Necrons. The Necrons are there because I had 50 points spare." He's like, "Jordan, I know the Necrons are not the best, but I just had 50 points." He goes on to say, "I wanted to go all in on my new Hive Tyrant. Awesome, I love the Barbgons, and wanted to run them with the Exo and Rupture effects as my castle. One squad of Gargoyles and Deep Strike, or both." Oh, dang it, Jacob, just adding units. Okay, cool, never mind. Or both, Lictor and Biovore with usual strategies. Sweet. Okay, so he's got Hive Tyrant, perfectly adapted, and he's doing full melee. I'm curious if, playing at 1,000 points changes the, the difference. Maybe your Hive Tyrant's a little bit more cagey, or honestly, maybe he's more pushing towards the center. Let's take a look. I've got Hive Tyrant, Gargoyle, Hormagaunts, Barbagants, Biovore, Lictor, Neurogants, Exocrine, Tyrant effects. You know what? I'm actually going to say something that I think some people might be gasping. They might be like, "Oh, egad." There's a chance that you are actually probably playing too many Hormagaunts or Gargoyles at 1,000 points. Because I feel like 1,000 points, you kind of want a good amount of beef. You don't want your, you don't want your stuff just dying and then you don't have any damage left. I think 1,000 points, you probably want your damage a little bit skewed higher than scoring secondaries and stuff. Because the unit count is going to be significantly less. Exactly half, in fact. Maybe not exactly half. So I feel like the more efficient and the more like just deleting your opponent's stuff is actually probably better than having a whole bunch of different scoring in secondary play. I do like barb gaunts. I think they're interesting. What I would probably say, Jacob is saying Tyranid effect seems like excessive power on 1,000 list. Maybe with acid spray, I don't know. Yeah, I actually don't mind the Tyranid effects with a rupture cannon because, like, you might be right. I don't know. It's tough to tell. But if you, like, go into... Well, he's going against Necrons, right? So maybe, like, the acid spray would be good. But also, like, if it's Shatterstar Necrons and you have, like, a bunch of the invulnerable save boats, then you're going to want to have the Tyranid effects. Regardless, you probably want some kind of melee threat. Yeah. And less scoring. So what we could do is, like, cut down the T-Fex. Yeah, I think actually Gene Stealers are pretty good into... what am I saying? Into Necrons. Yeah, for sure. We're not tailoring too much, right? No, I think you're right, Jacob. I think a Tyranid effects with Rupture Cannon at 1,000 points might be asking a little bit much. So what I would do first is cut the Tyranid effects, cut the Neurogons that we have already admitted are maybe not the best. I think Neurogons are fine. I just think, they could be a little bit better. And then what we're going to do is we are going to add a Brood Lord, which is going to be 80 points, and then Gene Stealers. I just really love Gene Stealers, honestly. I do kind of wish that the Gene Stealer models were a little bit better. And that's going to give us 15 points. And what I would like to do with the 15 points is then swap in Perfectly Adapted for Adaptive Biology. Low G. And that's going to be 10 extra points. So what is this? 220. We have 5 points left over. So now the thing is, we want to... Oh, I know exactly what we do. I think we want to find room for another Exocrine. Like, double Exocrine Gene Stealer is really kind of good. Yeah. And I think he wants to play the new Hive Tyrant. I think Hive Tyrant could maybe be too many points for 1,000 points. Like, because it's what, 220 points you could get. It is very good, though, I will admit. So if we cut one Gargoyle Squad, see, Jacob, it's the exact opposite. The opposite of what you're saying. If we cut Gargoyles and Barb Gaunts and staple those two together to create an Exocrine, I'm actually feeling pretty good about this. I know. What's up, everybody? Hey, True Soul. Primarch Loan. Finally finished the Norn Assimilator, and in my opinion, it's my best model so far. I actually put a lot more effort on it. Now I gotta paint my Bio Titan. Man, Primarch Loan, I hope you have an airbrush, dude. I can't imagine painting the Bio Titan. Crazy. With just like regular paintbrush. And Primarch, if you haven't already, join our Discord. I wanna take a look at that Norn Assimilator. I want to see what's going on with it. I'm excited for you, man. Congrats on finishing that. And good to see you, Elite. Yeah, so I think this is an interesting 1,000 point list. Like, I don't think you need a whole lot of action secondary stuff at 1,000 points. So you've got Hive Tyrant, Brood Lord, Gargoyles. Awesome, Primarch. There should be a link on our channel or something. Ooh, actually, if I do exclamation mark Discord. Let's see if it pops up. Or is it Discord exclamation mark? I don't know. Nightbot. Ah, there you go. All right, Primark. If you want to just click that link, that'll send us directly to the Discord. So yeah, we've got Hive Tyrant, Broodlord, Gargoyles, Hormigons, Biovore, Gene Stealers, Lictor, and then Exocrine. I think Exocrines are... you're using a brush. Wow, man. You're a soldier, dude. I think Exocrines are really good at 1,000 points. And I also think Gene Stealers are pretty good at 1,000 points. There might be an argument where there's like 2 elite in this list, but we'll see. I don't know. 1,000 points I feel like is tough to balance. I always feel like if I were to play 1,000 points, it would be like, I don't know, double Norn Emissary, and I'm not making any friends, you know? just something miserable like that. Lucky. Thank you, man. I appreciate you hanging out and watching all the stuff. Okay, Josh. I hope my rambling thoughts were of some use to you. I don't know. Sweet. Moving on. We've got Necular. And it's Ziller. Is the list name. Super sweet. We got Invasion Fleet. He's on double Broodlord. Do you think one of the Broodlords is attached to a 5-man Gene Stealer? Could be cool. Yes, True Dark Soul. So I'm always going to... So there's going to be a transitional period with the Army List review show. Of course, we're on Wednesday Night Warhammer here. Just because, you know, because we're here. The post was on W&W and everything. It takes a little bit of time for channels to be like stream ready. And that's for a couple of different reasons. So in the meantime, we're chilling on W&W. And I think with Army List review show, until I full change that post over to Hivemind Hobbies, I'm of course going to be honoring any membership on W&W, et cetera, et cetera. And then when we fully transfer, there's a good chance that I will still honor memberships on W&W too. It's not, you know, like because we work very close together, and there's no real problem with that. But good question, absolutely. Back to this Invasion Fleet, double Broodlord, Hive Tyrant, full melee with Adaptive Biology, Narrow Tyrant. Ooh, no battle line. Awesome, Primark. I'm gonna take a look as soon as the stream ends. Very interesting Invasion Fleet with no battle line. Maybe the thought process is, since we have 20 Gene Stealers, that those models are just going to kind of get in the way of things regardless, or we're just going to be jamming them up the field and just kind of doing that. And let's just triple check to make sure we're flat at 2,000 points. Awesome. You'll need to change the bot settings. Okay, next. Yeah, we can talk about it. We really appreciate all the work you're doing with the Discord, by the way. That's super sweet stuff. Okay, double Exocrine, double Gene Stealers, 1 Haruspex, double Lictor, 1 Maliceptor, double Tyranifex, 1 with Acid Spray, and 1 with Rupture Cannon. And then we have a Von Ryan's Leaper Squad. Very interesting list. We have 2 Lictors, right? Yeah. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I honestly think that this Acid Spray should be a Rupture Cannon. Because, like, if you think about it, the stuff that the Tyranifex, or the stuff that the Acid Spray wants to kill, the rest of your entire list is going to be really good at killing. Like, if we keep the Haruspex, I'm not sure we're keeping the Haruspex, but if we keep the Haruspex is good at killing anything the Acid Spray wants to. The Maliceptor is really good at anything that the Acid Spray wants to kill. Gene Stealers are just phenomenal at killing anything that the Haruspex wants to kill, and even more. And then the Exocrines too. So, like, I don't really feel like the Acid Spray is, you know, filling a need that this list has. But I definitely think punching into tanks and stuff is absolutely worth having the second Rupture Cannon. So here's what I actually really like this list. Here's what I think we need. I think we need to protect our Gene Stealers a little bit. So even though we have a whole bunch of bodies and stuff, I still think we're going to need a couple of chaff units to really make sure that our Gene Stealers are able to activate where they want to and when they want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop a Haruspex, and I think we're going to drop these Von Ryan Sleepers too. So that's going to be 195 points. And basically we're going to use this 195 points just to fill up some spots in our list. And Jacob, here you go. Jacob wins. I'm going to say add gargoyles. Sorry. 85 points. And gargoyles. 85 points. Boom. So that's going to be 100 and, what is that? 170 points. That's going to be 25 points. So we could do a Ripper Swarm. Or, it depends how much we want to do this. We could change one of these gargoyles for a Hormigaunt and then make a Pyrovore to babysit with our Maliceptor. And I think at that point it's kind of like what your preference is. I think you can probably maybe get by with Hormigaunts. I don't know. I probably would go with the... you could also like just not do the Ripper Swarm and do like perfectly adapted on one of the Broodlords. But let's say we go one Hormigaunt, one Gargoyle, which is okay. That's fine too. And then we do one Pyrovore. I had a one of Pyrovore at an R2T when I was playing Subterranean Assault recently, and I just basically measured for that Pyrovore to be, you know, right next to the center objective, and if I had to go first, I would just advance my Pyrovore, and he'd be on the center objective. So then, like, people, you have to come out there and put something on the objective, or, I mean, I guess you shoot it, but I don't know. I feel like it's pretty good. Let's do a once-over of this list. Necular. It's double Broodlord. Hive Tyrant, Neurotyrant, Hormigaunts, Gargoyles, Biovore, Excrin, Gene Stealer, Lictor, Maliceptor, Pyrovore, and then double Rupture Cannon. Maybe we're missing out on the third Excrin. I think Excrins are actually really good since Knights are a thing and Toughness 9. So, like, maybe if we drop the Maliceptor, I don't want to drop one of the Gene Stealer squads because it's actually pretty metal. I love that. We could drop like the Maliceptor and the Pyrovore, get another Exocrine, and put the Von Ryans back in, or like another Hormigaunt squad. Yeah, because I think the Gene Stealers are going to help us contest objectives. That's tough, isn't it? I'm going to leave it as is. Jacob says, what is the most efficient Pyrovore squad? I feel like 2 is optimal without investing too much. I think it definitely depends on the detachment, right? I think points-wise, it's 2. Yeah, because you get 2 for essentially 35 points. Well, no, I guess 2 and 3 would be the same rate, right? Because 3 times 35 is 105. But I could see 2. 3 might be a little bit harder to do. Yeah, True Dark Soul. I'm trying not to ping the entire Discord every single time I breathe. You know? And we've got a new Discord alert system. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a poll. If people want to be pinged, then I can go back to doing that. But I don't want to, you know, blow up everybody's phone all the time. Lucas says, hey, Jordan, how long is the backlog list? If I posted one today, how long would it take me to make it on the show? Well, Lucas, great question. The way the Army List show works is if you're a member, then the next Army List show you would basically be on, which is slated to be next Tuesday. However, if that's not something that you're able to do, oh, you did, Nix. Oh, cool. Well, yeah, Nix, we'll have to talk after stream or sometime Wednesday, and you can fill me in on all that back stuff. Anyways, sorry. So if you're not able to be a member, I actually think the queue right now for Army List reviews is actually kind of small. There was only 23 comments in when I pulled all of these lists. So if you think like 23 minus 8, I mean it's 11 lists. So it would probably be 2 or 3 weeks at max, Lucas, to submit a list if you are not able to be a member. So like either way, we will perhaps be doing 5 additional lists today, and so I always give people a chance, if we are close to reaching that goal, if they want to be a member and then submit a list, I will review that like right in the live stream, so you'd get almost immediate feedback. What's up, Seblaw? I think we're reviewing your list today, man, and I love your cowboy hat thing. Okay, Matthew Austin 1366. He says, "Hi, Jordan. Thanks for all the work on these videos. They've helped a lot." Thank you. I'm usually a Vanguard onslaught player, but I thought I'd give Christian's Stampede a go. The Gene Stealers and Broodlord are there because I couldn't think of what to do with 150-ish points. Currently, this sits at 1980. The Tyranid effects are rupture cans, but forgot to edit the loadout before I exported. Man, Tyranid players forgetting to get rid of the Flesh Borer Hive is just a way of life. You always, there's so many lists that I see, Tyranid effects, Flesh Borer Hive, and I'm like, surely you are not taking that. Okay, sweet. Crusher Stampede, so I gotta remind myself. So we're probably not going to be wanting to run the Broodlord Gene Stealer Brick and Crusher Stampede, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me see. Chris says, how do I submit a list for review? Let me see if I can just post this link in the chat. You go to our channel, WNW, and the post section. Let's see if I can share. Oh, yeah, I can. Here you go, Chris. If you click on this and copy and paste whatever list you got going on, then you should be able to do that. Boom. Just copy and paste from whatever army list builder you are seeing, or using rather. Okay, Crystal Stampede. We've got a Broodlord, Death Leaper, Old One Eye, Swarm Lord. Man, I love Swarm Lord. I'm probably making a video on Swarm Lord pretty soon. No battle line units. A Biovore. 2 Carnifexes. I'm really actually hoping for a change in Carnifexes this this data slate. Awesome, Chris. I'd be interested to look at them. 1 Exocrine, 1 Gene Stealer, a Lictor, Neurolictor, Norn Assimilator, Trigon, Tyranifex, and Tyranifex. And these are again on Rupture cannons. For Crusher Stampede, we need more crushing. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I think first up, we're just gonna get rid of the Broodlord and Gene Stealer Brick. Yeah, and that's gonna be 150 points, and we're just gonna immediately turn those 150 points into an Exocrine. Additionally, oh, somebody was just saying Norn Assimilator and Crusher Stampede seems pretty terrifying. I was just about to delete it. I think it's pretty sweet, but I mean, if you think about the different buffs that you get in Crusher Stampede, Norn Assimilator actually doesn't benefit too much from them, except for rerolling all hits, and then like, okay, I'm about to say a bunch. It's kind of funny because I say they don't get any benefits, and I'm literally about to list 3. So they get reroll all hits in combat, right? They get the tank shock thing, and you can climb through a wall. Those are all pretty good, right? But 275 points. I don't know. I kind of like him on the fence where I prefer more MSU monsters. I just want to move a wall of monsters up the field and say, hey, can you deal with all these monsters? And hopefully my opponent says no. No, you're fine, Sebla. I think it's a sweet model, though, for sure. Trigon is also kind of... I don't mind the Trigon. I think it is significantly less good now. Like, they can... it got hit with one of those nerfs where like Games Workshop hits everybody that has a certain rule, and then Trigon was like, I wasn't doing anything, and they're like, too bad. Boom, you get nerfed anyways. Okay, so talking about the Carnifex Old One-Eye Brick and Crusher Stampede. You only get +1 to hit if one of your Carnifexes dies, right? So then you would have a Carnifex and Old One-Eye, +1 to hit with reroll all hits. Then you only get, you never get +1 to wound with the Carnifexes, right? You only get +1 to wound when Old One-Eye is by himself, and then he's below half. So I think without a doubt, you for sure split up the Carnifexes. Carnifex 115. Carnifex. And there's an argument with loadout. Like if you do the all guns loadout, that could be good. And you can also have just singleton Carnifexes running around, which are probably the best at getting buffs from Crusher Stampede. Because you just send them out, boom. If they get hit at all, then they can Blood Surge even further. Then they're +1 to hit, and it's actually pretty easy for them to get below half. They're +1 to wound. My Carnifex is +1 to hit and +1 to wound, and they don't bracket, is very, very good. So let's say you have one kitted out with full melee, and that one's going to be the singleton Carnifex. And then the other Carnifex you're going to have all ranged. So that means you're going to have four Death Spitters, and you're going to have all the small guns as well. And that's just so that Old One-Eye and that Carnifex can just like, you know, just get everybody. All right. Next up, we're going to change this Neurolictor to a Lictor. So it's going to give us an extra 20 points. Now, the reason why is because the best thing the Neurolictor is going to do is give us +1 to wound. I think Crusher Stampede oftentimes just has access to +1 to wound. You know, if your monsters are getting lower. 20 points. All right. Moving right along. Check this out, folks. What we could do. The Trigon's kind of cool. Do we want to keep the Trigon? While I talk about this, I'm going to put a poll up. Do we keep the Trigon? Okay. Everybody start the poll. Do we keep the Trigon? We are definitely, unfortunately, going to delete the Norn Assimilator. And the Norn Assimilator. We're going to split the Norn Assimilator up into two things. It's going to be 275 points. So it's actually going to be 295 points. 295 points. And what we are going to do with that is first we're going to get a Maliceptor. Maliceptor absolutely loves being in Crusher Stampede. If you have never played Crusher Stampede with a Maliceptor getting +1 to hit, a Maliceptor hitting on 2s in shooting and combat, super, super sweet. And then we'll have 125 points left over. And honestly, what I think might be fun and might be kind of cool, Harspecs. What do we think, chat? You like it? It's good. All right, 56% of us said no to the Trigon. Rip Trigon. So we're gonna, yeah. Hey, True Soul. They hate us because they ain't us. You know what I'm saying? Jaldrin says, swap the Trigon for another Harspecs. That'd be pretty spicy. Unfortunately, I'm not very spicy. We're putting in a third Execrid. That's it. A third Execrid. Okay. So, this list, let's take a look at it. And reminder, after this stream, we are going to, I'm going to record a simulated deployment and first turn with one of these lists. I think I might do Crusher Stampede. This might be kind of fun. And I'm going to post that video on Hivemind Hobbies. So this list is going to be Death Leaper, Old One Eye, Swarm Lord, Biovore, double Carnifex, one Carnifex with full melee, and he's just going to be trundling up the table. And then one Carnifex with all range, and he's going to be attached to Old One Eye. Then we're going to have triple Exocrine. Boom, 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 right? We have one Harspex, double Lictor, a Maleceptor, double Tyranofix. Seems cool. You might, if you drop Carnifexes and you try and jam a Norn Emissary in there, I think Norn Emissary is pretty good, and Crusher Stampede. But this list, we didn't do that. Seems spicy. I actually like Carnifexes. Chat. I think the slate is Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. What do you guys most want to see from the slate on Wednesday? I'm hoping monsters go down in points. Will they? I don't know. I don't know if they will. But it could be cool. It would be actually really fun. While we're taking a second to think about that, I am going to take a second to thank our sponsor at Secondhand Geek. If you haven't been on Secondhand Geek recently, you should go. That's what I like to do. I always like to, every single day, honestly, I'm just going on Secondhand Geek and seeing what's for sale. Anybody want an AdMech army? Honestly, like $500 for an AdMech army is pretty cheap. If you know AdMech, they are pretty spicy army. Thousand Suns army? Was he asked? Oh, 1,400. Okay. That's pretty pricey. Oh, look. Winged Tyranid Prime. $18. It's pretty cheap. Let's see what they have like Tyranid specifically. Sorry, folks. If you don't mind, I'm going to be shopping for a moment. Look, a Psychophage, $25. That's actually really good. On Ryan Sleepers. Norn Emissary. Man, $100. Okay, anyways. Yeah, check out... Oh, they still have the Malmthrope for sale. Somebody... Look. This guy's still up there for sale. Anyways. Thank you, Secondhand Geek, for helping us out. You guys are pretty dope over there. Normal Ravs down 10. Let's see what chat said about the slate. An entire Salamander's Codex. Wow. Norn Simulator T12 and 5-Whip Invul. That might be tough. Honestly, I like to see more meh monsters have a Psychophage style rework. Oh, I see. Like if the Screamer Killer had an additional rule attached to it, or the hard specs. Want to see more Invul? Yeah, that would be nice. Normal Ravs down 10. I think Raveners might actually go up. I don't abide by like leaks or something, but there's a couple leaks that said that Raveners go up 10 points. Here's what I would accept. And of course I'm going to accept anything because I love the game and I don't have any control what they do, right? But here's what I would be okay with. If normal Raveners went up 10 points, but hyper-adapted Raveners went down 10 points. Meaning that if you're running the 10-man blob, it stays the same amount of points. Because I think that regular Raveners are seen all over the place. And that's because of Subterranean Assault, right? So if they're just making that key support piece be a little bit more expensive, but also not punishing like the 10-man Ravener brick that you have in Invasion Fleet or Vanguard Onslaught or et cetera, et cetera. I think that's a cool brick. And that's what I would like to see. But Raveners are very good. I'd like the Harspecs to get a buff. I have one and love it to pieces. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yep. All right, Travis Torres. He's got another Crusher Stampede list. Sweet. I'm all about it. No notes. Narrow Tyrant. Old One Eye. Swarm Lord. One squad of Gargoyles. Interesting. A Biovore. Sheesh. Another 2-man Carnifex squad. Harspecs, Lictor, Maleceptor, Norn Emissary, Psychophage, Tyranofex. Oh my word. Man. No exocrines? Okay. Very interesting. This is kind of cool, right? Now, there's a couple of things that I'm just like scratching my head at. Again, I think we do the same split that we did with the two Carnifexes, right? Like we go to two single man Carnifexes, we have a shooty one attached to Old One Eye, and we just have a melee one that's just gonna like shoot up the table. That's how I'm thinking. I do, however, really like double Maleceptor, Norn Emissary. I feel like the Psychophage is kind of interesting. Are we exactly at 2K? No, we're at 1995. Look, what if we just like, I don't know. Do we put another Carnifex instead of a Psychophage? That probably is bad. If we did like double melee Carnifex, one shooting Carnifex. Oh, so this is kind of like a hybrid. So he's got two Death Spitters and two Crushing Claws. So you got like the best of the both worlds. You guys think Psychophage could go back down to 95 points? Plus 1 AP is kind of sweet. Like Maleceptor with 3 AP, Norn Emissary with 3 AP, Haruspex. Okay, I see what you're saying. Nah, this is kind of sweet. This is kind of interesting. I will say, I almost don't think we need Neurotyrant. You know? What maybe could be sweet is to cut the Neurotyrant for another Psychophage. No. Should we? What do you think, chat? It's tough because in order for me to, like, my go-to is I'm like, we need at least 2 Exocrines going in here, blah, 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 blah. And I don't really want to rewrite the list because I think it's spicy. I like it. We've got 2 Lone Ops. 1 Gargoyle Squad. Seems good. Alright, so we're definitely splitting the 2 Carnifexes. Carnifex melee. Carnifex shooty. And then shooty, I mean 4 Death Spitters. And then small guns. And then Carnifex melee, what you'll want to do, of course. Crushing Claws. Extra Scything Talons, or whatever they're called. Scything. I think probably the shooty Carnifex goes with Old One Eye. Melee Carnifex goes with by himself. Yeah, I think this is fine. I think this is interesting. I'm still tempted to have Exocrines over. You know, I think if we could find some room for Exocrines, that would be sweet. If we did a Neurotyrant, if we dropped the Neurotyrant for a second Psychophage, could be cute, but I'm not sure. It's probably just more correct to have the Neurotyrant. Travis, sorry, I don't, besides trying to jam a bunch of Exocrines in. This seems sweet. And I like this because it's kind of off the beaten path. I don't think people are playing exactly this. I will say, definitely split up the Carnifexes. They're almost kind of like a non-bow. Not a combo with Old One Eye. There's an argument that maybe this Haruspex is not the best either. Because he's just going to have a hard time getting around. Maybe like a rapid ingress threat off the Haruspex. Who knows? Yeah. But again, Travis, thanks for submitting the list, man. Appreciate it. I hope your games with it have been sweet. Yeah, I agree. I think the plus to AP was a pretty cool idea. I just think I don't think it's good enough for 110 points, I definitely think it's close. I think it's close. I think it's a slam dunk if it keeps the AP in shooting and melee. Like if it allows your Exocrines to get AP 4, I think everybody's running 2 Psychophages. Because I think the plus to AP and melee is so less important than the plus to AP and ranged. if you think about it, because everybody's going to have cover in shooting, right? So that extra pip of AP, just basically getting rid of cover, means a whole lot more than maybe like the edge case that you're going up against somebody that's going to armor of contempt your Gene Stealers or something. But all of the time in shooting, you'll be able to benefit from that +1 AP. Okay, 1, 2. Oh yeah, Sebla, you're next after this. 3, 4. Awesome. It's a chill day, folks. We do have a super chat goal. If we reach 15 super chats, or I guess 7.5 members. I don't know. Every member is 2. I will pull 5 more additional lists from our post, and I will stream for a little bit longer. Regardless, I will be recording a video deploying one of these lists in Tabletop Simulator and just giving a list breakdown and everything, and I will be posting that on Hive Mind Hobbies. You can find that channel in the description below. Subscribe and everything. That would be wonderful. Awesome. Moving on, we've got KS Ander. I think that's how you say it. KS4NDERR. Greetings, Jordan. Love your videos, especially guides. Thank you. So I'm somewhat new to Warhammer, if 1 year is considered to be new. Huh? But I've created a list which I think is kind of good, showing great performances on local tournaments. I've played only 1 tournament, but I'm not quite sure if it's good for tournaments at all. Feel absolutely free to give recommendations when viewing the list. Feel free to change some units for a better list on your opinion. Cool. All right, we're in Evasion Fleet. 1505 points. Interesting. Is he at 1,500 points, or I'm gonna assume he's at 1,500 points, and we'll go from there. Okay. Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant with Adaptive Biology, 2 10-man Hormagaunts, 2 10-man Termagants, a Biovore, Lictor, Neurolictor. Okay, well, what I would do immediately is just change this Neurolictor to a Lictor. And then we're going to have 15 points left over just to get that 5 points over. Then we have 3 Tyranid Warriors with ranged weapons. Interesting. 3 Zoanthropes, 1 Exocrine, a Norn Emissary, and then a Tyrannofex. Okay, sweet. So we have 15 points to spend. Not going to spend it all at one place, chat. I promise. We're going to spread that 15 points around. It would be hilarious if I immediately oh, we don't have a character put perfectly adapted on. Okay. We do not have a Neurotyrant. It's 1,500 points. Okay, so I think this is actually a pretty quick fix, and I think it's a fine list idea. Since we don't want to spend the extra points on a Neurotyrant at this point, I think we want more just like beef. We want more activations at 1,500 points just to make sure that we can back up our Norn Emissary and do cool things with it and make sure that it's living and you're also killing stuff with it, right? So what I would say is we're probably going to cut the Zoanthropes. So that means we're going to be at 115 points. And then we're also going to cut these Tyranid Warriors with ranged bioweapons. So that's going to be 180 points. I'm not sure that we're really wanting the ranged Tyranid Warriors. They're not the best right now, which is a little unfortunate. I think they're pretty cool. Next up, I don't love Termagants. We've got 2 Hormagaunt squads. Let's see what else we probably want to do before I just start slamming stuff. I think another Exocrine would be sweet. Also, a Maleceptor to hang out with the Norn Emissary would be pretty cool as well. See, if we did these 2, which is 120 points, which would be 300 points, we would be 10 points off. Let's do this, okay? This might be with no power weapons either. Oh, yeah, just the Flesh Boar. Yeah, you're right. This might be crazy, but, you know, perfectly adapted. So if we swap adaptive biology to be perfectly adapted with a Hive Tyrant. And then we take out these 2 Termagants. So that's going to be 135 points. Then that's going to be 315 points. Boom. And then we can execute the master plan of an extra Exocrine. Boom. And then a Battle Scepter. Which that's going to be 170 points. I think I like that idea. At 1,500 points, like if you just throw a bunch of beef, what can they do? And then 20 Hormagaunts, I think, is plenty of chaff. Your Biovore is still screening out your backfield. One of your Exocrines is probably also screening out the backfield. Malceptor's pushing up the center with the Norn, and then just 1 Rupture Cannon Tyranid effects to just pew pew make people scared. You know? I think that's what I would do at 1,500 points, like given the skeleton of the list, and moving from there. I don't think Termagants are really worth it right now, and one of the reasons is because Hormagaunts are only 5 points more expensive, and they're like, in my opinion, they are infinitely better than Termagants, just so much better than Termagants, because Termagants die so quickly, but oftentimes I feel like the Termagants die quickly without really doing a purpose. Hormagaunts move 4 inches extra. They can advance and charge. They have AP on their melee, and they have the same number of OC. You know? Anyways, the list. Deathleaper. Hive Tyrant with perfectly adapted. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about perfectly adapted. So, yes, not having the 5 up on the field, no pain. The Hive Tyrant is less than ideal. However, being able to re-roll a 4-up invulnerable save off of perfectly adapted and then command point re-rolling another 4-up invulnerable save with just a regular command point, odds are there's a chance that is as durable as a 5-up feel no pain. Now, I think the bottom line is probably it's not, and that would be interesting for like running the math on that, but 4-up invulns can be super, super swingy. You know? Who knows? So maybe perfectly adapted in the case where you really need that 10 extra points and there's nowhere that you can find it, maybe swapping adaptive biology for perfectly adapted might be a good case because it got us an Exocrine and a Malceptor. I'd say that's pretty good, you know? Alex says the push fit Termagants you get from the Leviathan Sprue are compatible with the upgrades out of the standalone box. Interesting. Yeah. Jaldrin, to be honest, most of my Termagants have been used for narrative games this year. Yeah, that checks out, man. Sounds about right. Okay. Sebla, and then quick clips. 3 more lists. Just say what weapons they have shouldn't be a problem in non-competitive games. Yes, True Dark Soul. What I would do is I would put adrenal glands on the Termagants that have special weapons so that you and your opponent know specifically which of those models have the different weapons. I do like the decision of just saying, okay, this one is the guy with the cool gun. But if you put like a physical representation on the model, then you and your opponent know for sure what is what. But I agree, just all of my Termagants are flesh borers. I'm not going to go and get, that new kit and mess with the strangely shaped guns. Okay, anyways, moving on to Sebla. Sebla's in chat. It's incredible. They say, I've been toying with the idea of using the same list for Invasion Fleet. Oh, okay, so let's take a look. Hi, Jordan. I think it's awesome that you take some time to look at viewers' lists. It's fun, man. Here's my Synaptic Nexus list. I haven't played any games with this list, as I'm still in the process of collecting the models I need. Cool. The main idea is to have the Biowar sit at home to cause Spore Mine shenanigans along with the Neurogons to prevent deep striking. And then 2 Norn Emissaries will take an objective each and stay there. Nice. Everything else will just be focused on attacking and defending as needed. Hope you like the list. Any recommendations would be awesome. Sweet. I appreciate your kind words in submitting a list, man. Believe it or not, folks, if people didn't submit lists, the Army List Review Show would not happen. It's true. It's true. Okay, so the standard 2 characters that we would always see in Synaptic Nexus, we've got the Hive Tyrant with Synaptic Control, and we have a Neuro Tyrant with Power of the Hive Mind. I feel like when you boot up any army list roster making Synaptic Nexus, these 2 characters just automatically populate, right? They're just very good. Cool. We've got Gargoyle. We've got Termagants. Awesome. Okay. Biovore. Neurogants. 6 Zoanthropes. 1 Exocrine. 1 Maliceptor. 2 Norn Emissaries. And then double Rupture Cannon. Sweet. Okay, so a couple of things. I think like the core is very good, right? Like I love Tyrant Effects, 6-man Zoanthropes. Exocrine and Maliceptor is super cool. I also think Norn Emissary is pretty good in Synaptic Nexus. But it doesn't... See, this is my problem with Synaptic Nexus. And I posted a video in the new channel talking about my wish list for the data slate. And it was just basically me saying, Games Workshop, do something with Synaptic Nexus. Because, like, the detachment name is Synaptic Nexus, right? So you would think, oh, sweet, let me run a whole bunch of Synapse units and it'll be super cool. I want to use brain bugs and stuff. But, like, Synaptic Nexus doesn't really buff any of our Synapse creatures really well. Because, like, the imperatives are +1 to hit in melee. Cool. I guess the Maliceptor gets to hit on 2s in melee for a turn. A 5-up invulnerable save. But, like, all of the Synapse stuff has better invulns, you know? And +1 advance and charge. I mean, I don't know. That's the exact reason why I thought about Invasion Fleet too. No, I think Synaptic List is very cool, and I do like the core of this. What I would say is, I think regardless, I think I would start, unless you're like dead set on double Norn Emissary, I would probably say cutting 1 Norn is probably the move, right? To start there. Because you're just going to get like 2 more units. So what we're probably going to end up doing is cut the Norn, cut 1 Norn, and then cut the Neurogants. Then we have 305 points to play with. We're probably going to upgrade these Termagants. Custom bases for printed gargoyles. Custom bases for printed gargoyles. Give me 1 second. I don't have any recommendations for... while we're doing this, Sebla, if you could tell me how you feel about cutting the 2nd Norn. I don't have any recommendations on custom bases, but I do have these really cool Tyranid gargoyle scopes that you can get off of Etsy. They're like all perched on... Yeah, they're called Hive Harpies. It's pretty sweet. Hold on. Boop. That's what I would do. These Hive Harpies here. I'm about to show them real quick. I just signed out, so I didn't show my credit card information. There's one stream I did that, but it's from a credit card that is not in use anymore. These guys, if you don't like the GW sculpts for these or for gargoyles, go on Etsy, get these, man. Look at how sick these are. And Seblar, we'll get to your list in a second. Just chat is doing a bunch of shopping with me. All right. This is what I would do. Look at how cool. Look how cool that is. That's what I would do. I mean, it's $40. It's probably around the same amount. Do they have any reviews? Sometimes they like show them printed or whatever. That's how I would have did it. You know what I'm saying? Oops. Okay, Sebla, what did you say? Of course, feel free on double Norn. Okay, sweet. So no, we're gonna keep double Norn. If you want double Norn, you got double Norn. All right, so I definitely think we can make better use of our points without the Neurogons. So Neurogons are gone, and then probably these Termagants. So if we go 105 points, it is kind of light on chaff once we do that. But all right, so if we're going full Norn, here's the scheme. We also drop an Exocrine. Now hold on, chat. I know that's crazy stuff right there. I think Exocrine is pretty good, but this is going to allow us to get one more Gargoyle. 245 minus 85 is that 155? Let me see. Minus 85. It's 160. Okay, so we have 160 left. Oh, we just put the Exocrine back in, right? And then, oh, this actually kind of shaped up pretty good. So we could do something crazy, like we could drop Power of the Hive Mind and get a second Maleceptor, right? Which would be kind of sweet. Both Maleceptors hanging out with the Norn Emissary. That'd be kind of cool. But the list is also lacking on low knobs. And what we could do is just put in 2 Neurolictors, right? How do I do that? And that does a couple of things that helps, I don't know. It just gives synapse to stuff all of the time. And, you know, if you get a pretty good Shadows turn, it's kind of sweet. It also triggers the grenade strat for Synaptic Nexus a couple times, or makes a couple more activations of it. But yeah. Werelictor. Oh, you have already a preferred sculpt lined up. Yeah, sorry, Alex. I don't know. I think if you... It depends on the sculpt, right? My buddy Kyle, he actually painted my gargoyles for me. 20 of them. And I just used the regular 25mm bases. And I just did the same texture. So he kept the flight stands, and he just, like... I think he, like, used, like... I don't know, like some kind of hot needle or something. He just poked through the base and then had the pole part of the flight stand go through there. Yeah. Primarch Loan, there are other things besides Winged Tyranid Primes, I promise. There's always at least one Tyrannifex on there, which is pretty sweet. I think Tyrannifexes are one of the best units to run. Well, Sebla, I hope my comments were, you know, of some help. I think if you are ending up running Invasion Fleet, I would probably lean more towards maybe the same thing, but you also kind of want... You could do like 2 Lictors and a Pyrovore instead. I definitely think you need Lone Ops, though. I think Lone Ops are very good. You already have a Tyrannifex. What about second Tyrannifex? Of course, Sebla. Yeah, absolutely, man. Quick Clips 2012. Is their next list? Second to last list, I think. Yep. And then chat, be thinking about... yeah, yes, another 2 chances to use command reroll. Man, this guy has played Tyrannifexes for sure. The T-Fexes are fun to paint. Sebla, the reason why I like Pyrovores is because I think Maleceptors with AP2 is kind of just like in not the best spot to be in. Because if you get cover, then you hardly have any AP punching up. So a Pyrovore just being able to go out there and say, boom, you don't get cover anymore, seems really kind of good. In addition, they're only 40 points, and sometimes a unit is just good because of how cheap it is. Like the Neurogons you have. But I do think that you'll probably be able to screen out an okay amount even without the Neurogons there, as long as you're being safe with like your Tyrannifexes and getting angles, and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I like Pyrovores. I think they're pretty good. This is my 2,000 point Invasion Fleet list, which I've been tweaking for well over a year. I've painted them in a blue armor and tan skeleton horde body with a green oil wash on any... That Quick Clips, that sounds phenomenal. Please post on the Discord your painted bugs. I want to see them. His list title is FF. Interesting. Before we... yeah, Pyrovores eliminate a unit's cover. That's their data sheet ability. Before we go any further, if we could... Maybe let's do a poll and see which which lists we want to do. Maybe one of the Crusher. What else do we have? We had double Norn, Synapse. We also had double Genes, Invasion. Let's do, and then this one, which Swarm Lord Invasion. Cool. So this, whoever, give me a second, sorry. Which list should I deploy? This list I'm going to deploy and record on TTS and talk about like a first turn or something on Hive Mind Hobbies after this stream ends. So vote on whatever list you would like to see. There's a couple of different Crusher Stampede lists. I'm probably just going to pull one of them and see. Okay, so back to this. Your paint scheme seems awesome, by the way. I do want to see that. We've got a Broodlord with Perfectly Adapted, Neuro Tyrant. We've got Swarm Lord, double Termagants. Okay, so again, I'm going to go on my Termagant rampage. I don't know, maybe quick clips. Maybe you've had some good success with the Termagants. We've got a Biovore, one Exocrine, Gene Stealers, one Haruspex, Lictor, Maliceptor, Norn Emissary, Tyranid, and then just a 3-man Zoanthrope squad. Very interesting. Okay, cool. So I think we're going to do a couple things. Just try and maybe swap some stuff around. I probably want to upgrade these Termagants to Hormagaunts. I'll be honest with you, even though I did say Swarm Lord Invasion. I think an Invasion fleet, you probably actually want the Hive Tyrant more than Swarm Lord, just because you want your Tyrannifexes. Oh, see, look, I was right. Another Flesh Borer Hive Tyrannifex. I think you probably actually want these to be Rupture Cannons, of course. But with your... Man, if you guys haven't, like, Tokyo drifted a Tyrannifex Rupture Cannon with an advance roll to just, like, get an obscene angle on something, it's kind of funny. And doing that with the Hive Tyrant is kind of sweet. Okay, so we're going to cut Zoanthropes, and we are going to cut the Haruspex. Boom, boom, 225 points. And, of course, quick clips if, like, you know, if these changes don't fit your playstyle, or if you found a certain route to play that really allows for the 3-man Zoanthropes and the Haruspex to do some crazy good stuff, then keep them, you know? I'm just some weirdo on the internet. 225 points. I definitely think we are also going to... How many points is the Adaptive Biology Hive Tyrant? Let's see. It's 220 points. Okay, so it's just a strict trade. Hive Tyrant with Adaptive Biology. Lucas, I actually have not been able to try the new Cyclophages yet. It's on my list. Maybe I should bring that on stream sometime. All right, so we have 225 points. I think this list probably wants an extra Exocrine. Boom. So that's going to be 85 points left over. Gargoyles? No, so what we're actually going to do is... Well, maybe actually Gargoyles. What we're actually going to do is we are going to use 60 of those 85 points to get another Lictor. I think we really, really, really like 2 Lone Ops is really, really good. So we have 25 points left over. And we want to spend 10 of those points to then get both of these Hormagaunts. Both of those Termagants to Hormagaunts. 65 points. 5 points. And then we will have 15 points left over. We're also going to drop Perfectly Adapted. Hiya. With 30 points. And then we're just going to pop in a Ripper Swarm. Ripper Swarms are good what if they were Hormies instead? The Hormy Homies. Ripper Swarms are good even if you are just having them come in and screening a part of your backfield. Like, imagine a world where your Norn Emissary is pushing up with your Maleceptor. T-Fexes are pushing up. X-Grins are pushing up as well. And then your backfield is like a weird corner where you're not able to really cover, and you don't want your opponent to bring in like Inceptors or anything. You can just put a Ripper Swarm there, and then boom. Lucas is also correct. You could take out the Ripper Swarm for upgrading one of the Hormigaunt squads to a Gargoyle squad. That also could be good. I don't know. I'm feeling like Hormigaunts are kind of cool, you know? I still got to paint another squad of Hormigaunts that I got from my Kill Team Typhon box. Sebla just posted their NIDS paint job. That's awesome, man. Okay, let's look at the poll here. I'm going to wait until the very end, so if you haven't voted in the poll, click, vote. So far, Double Jeans Invasion is in the lead. Oh, it's very close between Double Jeans and Double Norn. It's a point thing for you? Interesting. What do you mean by that, Truesoul? Man, this is actually a really close poll. It's kind of cool. I'm excited. Sweet. Okay. Oh, and this is going to be a quick one. Crapilix is our last list. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with us this afternoon. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to W&W if you could, and also check out Hive Mind Hobbies. The link should be in the description below. That's our new Tyranid channel that we just started this week. Go ahead and subscribe over there if you enjoy my Tyranid content, because it's going to be over there. Krupilix says, your videos are great and have been especially useful. So first off, thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I've just started playing NIDS. Vanguard Onslaught is the detachment I'm building around. Generally playing 1,000 2v2s and keen to get your advice on my current list and where should I expand from. Forlorn Hope is the title. Awesome. I will say I don't want to show any more, but I did post a video on that channel that takes Vanguard Onslaught from 500 points all the way up to 2,000 points. And it's a direct progression of how I would go from 500 points to 1,000 points. But let's take a look regardless. Forlorn Hope, that's a pretty cool name. We've got Broodlord, a Biovore, 10 Gene Stealers, Lictor, 6 Zoanthropes, a Haruspex, Norn Emissary, and it's 1985 points. That's kind of sweet, honestly. All right, so I actually love the Norn Emissary. I think the Norn Emissary is super, super cool. Oh, response to Nyx. When I'm making a meme list to force you to play. So I'm not on stream this week. So I'd say maybe next week. Norn in 1K seems kind of mean, but that is also why I like it. Okay, so what I would think, here's what I would do, right? And the 6 Zoanthropes are actually they're kind of interesting as well. I don't love them without the Narrow Tyrant, but let's see what happens. What I think, if we do 5-man Gene Stealer, that's going to be 75 points. Beep. 75 points. And we just broke that up. That's the first thing we're going to do, right? So it keeps the points total. We are definitely going to, I think, remove the Haruspex. So that means we would have 125 plus 15 because 985. So we have 140 points. Then what we could do is just get another Broodlord, right? Boom. And we have 60 points left over. And then we could just get a third Lictor. And then honestly, that's a pretty sweet 1,000 points list. Bennis said it's mean. That'd be kind of cool. Oh, I know exactly what we do. So instead of honestly, like you're not getting the +1 to hit off of the Zoanthropes because you don't have the Neurotyrant. But like, what if there's two different things we could do. We could switch the 200 points from the Zoanthropes and make them a Tyrannifex with Rupture Cannon. No, you know what? I think I like this. Right? So we got Broodlord, Biovore, Genestealer, Triple Lictor, 6 Zoanthropes without the Neurotyrant, and then 1 Norn Emissary. And what I would do with the Zoanthropes and put them in reserves and Vanguard Onslaught for 1 CP, you can bring them in turn 1 and just have them zap something. You could. I also like that idea, Lucas. You could swap these Zoanthropes for a Maleceptor to babysit the Norn Emissary. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you can't have 3 of an Invasion. Thank you. You can tell how much I play Invasion. I mean, Incursion. Okay, so that last 60 points. All right, so now we're actually we're forced to do something. Yeah. You're right. Good catch, Jaldrin. Jaldrin's like the 1,000 point expert. It's like most of your tournaments are at 1,000 points, right? Or something like that. That seems cool, pretty cool. It seems like a fun meta. I don't own any Tyrannicides. I do not. Sorry, I cannot play. Nor I'm not sure if I'm super excited about having Tyrannicides. Okay, so here's what we do. I think we cut the Zoanthropes for real this time. Boom. And that's going to be at 260 points. So we put a Maleceptor in. And this is just going to... This is not very Vanguard Onslaught-like. But we put a Maleceptor in. This is very Vanguard Onslaught. And then a Death Leaper. And then we have 10 points left over. You can put, like, Stalker on one of the Broodlords. Then you're fine. I actually don't hate Norn Emissaries in Vanguard because they just fall back and they can recharge. It's pretty good. It's not bad. Okay. Sweet. I'm going to end the poll. It seems like Swarmlord Invasion Fleet 1, which is not really a Swarmlord Invasion Fleet anymore. It is... Let's see how close it was. Oh, man. Swarmlord Invasion went kind of ham. So it's not Swarmlord Invasion anymore. It is going to be... it's pretty much like a bog standard Hive Tyrant Invasion. I personally think that the Hive Tyrant is just better in Invasion Fleet. And this is going to be the list that we will be deploying in a video over at Hivemind Hobbies. It's not going to go up today. I'm going to record it today, but I'm going to release it tomorrow. Just for algorithm reasons. And so make sure you subscribe, Hivemind Hobbies, and you'll see it over there in a second. But let's actually do that change. So we're gonna cut this Ripper Swarm, and we're gonna make one of the Hormigaunt squads a Gargoyle squad. Somebody suggested that change. And then 5 points, does that give us anything? Nope. Okay, sweet. Awesome. This is actually pretty cool because I feel like there's a lot that I could talk about in this list. Anyways, you can't find Hivemind Hobbies. Give me 1 second. It did just recently start, maybe. It should be in the description below, but I will also, boom, post it in chat. If you could subscribe to Hivemind Hobbies, all of our Tyranid content is going to move over there eventually. I think the live streams are going to hang out on Wednesday Night Warhammer just for a little bit because YouTube channels take a second to get up to the point where they can live stream in a way that's meaningful. So that's why we're feeding both boats right now. But anyways, thank you everybody for hanging out with me. This was a good one. I really appreciate all the support. This Wednesday, it's going to be Zach and Mike. It's going to be my off week. But next week, we will do a meme list. It's probably still going to be on Wednesday Night Warhammer. Small chance that it'll be on Hivemind Hobbies. I'll let you guys know. But I'll do a meme list, and we'll have a super chat goal for that. And we can do all kinds of crazy stuff that is within my collection. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, everybody. See you later.